Okay, welcome everybody to our first hybrid Zoom studio class. I'm Sandy Ostroff, if you guys haven't met before. Down, I know. Okay, good. So we're going to start with basically an overview of a lot of the different lights we have here. We kind of go back to ancient history with this one. Just basically an incandescent bulb. In this case, they put a fluorescent on here, and these only come with a clip on that you can put on a stand or what have you. We then progressed here, at least, besides just going straight to hot lights, we've progressed to strobes. These are monoblocks, so basically the capacitor to fire the strobe is built in, so it's all one unit strobe head rather than having a cord and a big pack and so forth. And it has a modeling tube and a strobe tube. I don't know if you guys can see that. You able to see that up there, Alan?
So yep.
Okay.
There are 2 lights.
Yeah, there's 2 light sources in here.
So one is the on all the time, one.
Yeah, this is the modeling tube.
Okay.
Okay. There's the modeling tube. And then I'm just going to push the test, you'll see the fire. So that's a flash. So basically, the modeling tube is just for aiming. And the flash is what actually takes the photograph. And on the back here, I'm going to put this up. You've got different dials to set your power and you turn your modeling tube on and off and so on and so forth. So that's all in the back here. There'll be a test afterwards.
Be showing something like
that. Yeah, what's a little more cutting edge that's come out in the last few years are LEDs. Okay, so they're a little primitive in the beginning. This one I got about 3 years ago, and basically you can see it's just a bunch of little LED bulbs in there. And when you get a reflection on a shiny surface, you're going to see those. Oh, yeah. Now they do make a diffuser that kind of meshes it up a little bit, but still, you guys see this at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how that went.
So you can't control the light and the brightness.
Yeah, you can. This has a lot of really nice controls. You can control. You can dial the color temperature on this particular one, which is interesting. And you can also dial, oh, there's the color temperature. You can also dial how much brightness it is from nothing to all the way up.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got a lot of control here. The only negative is if you're shooting reflective surfaces, you're going to see all these little bulbs. Okay. And this one also does strobing as well. So it's a combination light. It's continuous and strobe. You can do either or. So I'm going to turn that off.
Does that generate any heat at all?
Excuse me?
Did it generate any heat?
No, hardly anything. From there, this company called Lume Cube came out with these little, and it's a single bulb. So, and on these you've got control, not so much with color temperature, but with the amount of intensity. So you can go from 0 to 100%. That's 100%. Guys, right. You can see. Or if you hold both the positive and negative down, it's got a micro volume for the light, or it starts out at 1/10 and goes up to 1. So if you're working on macro or something, these come in real handy.
And what were they called?
They're called Lume Cube.
And they mount on a tripod or something?
Yeah, they've got, or on your camera. Like if you want to do like what we used to call a video run and gun, where you put it on top and just go, it'll fit on a hot shoe. But if you got a small thread adapter, like on a tripod head, or one of those little adapters that goes on a regular camera stand, that works out real well too. So those are here as well. Our newest acquisition, and the one I'm most excited about, are these Stella light in motion. These are continuous as well as strobe. They will go up to 18 frames a second for high-speed strobe. So let's just turn this on. Is it plugged in?
Who are those made by?
Stella makes it. They also make diving lights and they make bicycle lights. So they've been in the lighting business a long time. I wonder why this isn't going on. Oops. Could be. Yeah, let's see if that's in all the way. Maybe I
Try that.
yeah, let's see if that works better. Nope. There we go. There we go. All right. The looks like the back isn't reading out. Okay. So these haven't adjusted. You know, I'm going to switch heads. I want to see what I'm doing here. It's kind of odd that the readout's not showing on this. These run off a 100-watt little block here with a USB-C cable. Okay. So they're pretty much state of the art. Now you can see the readout. Okay, so they go 5 stops, and if they're plugged in, they go 9 stops. If they're on power, they also have a battery pack, so you can take them out on location and use them for flash fill or continuous light fill. So,
What's the cost?
the cost, retail they're about, just the studio without the pack, it's about $650, and it's, I think it's about $950 with the battery pack. However, they do 20-30% off sales every couple
Do they have
2-3
any
months.
modifiers with them?
Yeah, they do. Well, that's the thing I wanted to show you guys.
Okay.
They've got these little spots.
Yeah.
They've got a bare bulb. And you can see it's a single bulb. So you guys see that okay? So these come on and off, which is really nice. So they come in different sizes too. They come spot, medium, and wide. So, and kind of give you an idea what this light looks like. Put it up on the wall here and then turn it up. That's just stop. They go all the way around.
No, we haven't even got that far.
Well, holler at me, would you?
That's full.
I'd love to see it, what they say, but I think it's pretty cool. But that's me. She says.
Whatever you match to with your continuous light, when you hook it up with a wireless flash remote trigger, it'll match it.
Ah.
And then with a flick of a switch, you can turn that off so your model isn't blinded and she'll just get flashed if you're shooting a person.
So you don't need a receiver thing on the end, it will automatically.
It's got a built-in receiver.
Oh, cool.
And it works with Inacrom, Godex, whatever the Anorama brand is. It works with all those. As long as you have one specific to your camera, it'll work with it fine.
And
Yes,
question, with the LED lighting, you have to adjust your white balance setting.
Well, with any light you should, but yeah, these are daylight balanced. So if you're outside, you're not going to get crossover or any problems because it's going to be the same as the sun. You'll get a little bit in overcast because obviously your sunlight's going to be bluish from the clouds and the atmosphere.
But indoors, like in the studio.
It's going to be daylight, just like a strobe. Strobes are all daylight balanced as well.
For LED, that's an LED right there.
Correct. Everything I've showed you, except for these 2, are LEDs. So this, the Lume cubes, and the old rotolight. Are all. Now, the rotolights, the only exception. You can change the color temperature to anything you want, from 32K to 6500K. Which is kind of nice if you're tweaking it into something. Okay. You guys all able to hear this and hear the questions and everything? Good. Okay. That's great. All right. So I think what I want to do is first I'm going to run through the submissions that we had, and then if we have a little time, no, actually, we've got a lot of time. Let's just build a set and see how these lights work. What do you think? You guys want to do that? All right, good. Okay. Hey, Pat, I didn't see you there. All right. Well, I guess we can start with this, and let's get some equipment. I need something to hold up the background, and I'm going to stance. Let's do that. By the way, all the equipment is back here. I don't know if you guys can still hear me up in the land. Sandbags, some under here. Get some bigger stands back here and backdrop stands. Then over here is all the equipment. And some of the small and then back in the early stores. Also have a beauty dish.
Hey, Kevin,
Yes,
are there any lights there like you set up when we did the EV interview with Karen?
he's got some of the little lights that he was just showing you, or lights like that in a sense. They're different styles, but yeah. He doesn't have any flat panels. There's no flat panels here at the studio like that I use. But
Okay.
that little Stella light that he has is a really nice one. Would do a great job for something like that.
Which one?
The Stella light.
So that could do the same thing that you did with the panels that we used?
Yeah, you'd have to put a modifier like a soft box or something in front of it just to soften the light, but it's a lot of bang for the buck. I mean, they're expensive, but they are really nice lights. I'm gonna get a couple.
So just out of curiosity, how much were your panel lights? Or can you explain that to everyone that's there? Because I know I was with you.
Oh, sure. Basically, they were for video, there's LED panel lights. So in a sense, it's kind of like this big, or this little dude, same kind of thing, only like a 12 by 12 foot square, 12 inch by 12 inch square. And all you're doing is you could put a modifier on it, like some scrim or a soft box. We didn't use a soft box, but something like that to modify and soften that light. And so basically this little light it is amazingly powerful. When you see how much you think this is just a little light, well, how good is that going to be? That's pretty darn nice. It's been so long since I bought those panels, Todd. I would say they were probably maybe $500-600 a pop. I don't know, something like that. So the thing that I do like about these Stella lights is that you can use them with strobe for if you want to shoot people or if you want to do video, which is great. You got
Multi-purpose.
Definitely multi-purpose.
Those panel lights were nice because you had you could adjust them. So as you were sitting there looking at the image, you can turn up the white balance up or down, whatever it needed to be.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, that'll work.
Good.
I think so.
Yeah, they work out really nicely in that regard.
Maybe
I think it's actually much.
Yeah, maybe just
Take off the stud and then we're all set.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I'll put it over here. Right here.
So is this the room when you want to come in and set up? Is this the room you set up in without the chairs, obviously?
Sure.
Or is there another room?
Nope, this is the room.
This is it. So, yeah, before class, we're gonna have to take the chairs. I'm trying to see if we can get the club to put a door here to go into the storage room, but that's still up in the air.
That isn't happening, Sandy.
We'll see. I'm gonna try. We'll see.
That was a sledgehammer.
That's right.
Do you need to reserve the space or?
That- According to GPR, that'd probably be another $10,000 to the budget.
Yeah, you know how those union guys are.
Calendar and see what's going on here in this area. Just a quick story, since we got time since Sandy's setting up.
Yeah.
We were going to do a movie demo in here today at this time. I didn't know that Sandy was switching to doing a studio class, and I'm like, well, this will be great, because Sandy's doing Zoom, so he doesn't need the room. We can do it at the same time. Well, then Sandy said, yes, I do need the room, and here's what I'm doing. It's like, okay, so now we're going next Tuesday morning, we'll be here in this room. So, but
Kevin, do we check with the people out front if we wanted to do setup?
I think I would look at, if it was me, I'd look at the schedule, just make sure there's nothing going on, and then you would check and just say, hey, I'm gonna do a little setup, I'm gonna move some chairs. And as long as you move everything back, I think everybody would be happy.
And that schedule is online or posted out there?
No, it's on the calendar club, or on the calendar club, it's the photo club's calendar,
Got it.
and you'll see each day what's going on and what's available.
Okay. And we can bring our own lights in if we want.
Sure can.
Awesome.
Yes, because there's a comfort level that you have if you've got your own gear.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't mind using the Stella, just instead of my, my little, my little contained, I have some contained lights.
Sure.
Tall buff ones.
Oh, sure.
Very nice.
Yeah.
But for key light, that might be cool over the years. After.
Well, there's such a huge thing for when you've got your own gear. It's like if you've got your own camera, you know how your camera works. And let's say you're Panasonic and somebody says, here's a Canon. You're like, well, I don't know how to use that. I'm gonna, I know how to function my camera. Well, these lights are the same way, the stands, everything's the same way. If you've got a comfort level with your gear, you're
That's
all
a
good.
pretty nice room.
Not bad.
We'll see how it works, boy. It's a little flimsy. I have not put all these parts together. They've been sitting in storage. So bear with me here. Let's see if this one can hold up. I'm gonna get a sand.
So are the lights, Kevin?
Yes, Todd.
Are the lights, Sandy, showing available there at the club? They're in the storage units? Or
Yes.
these are Sandy's lights?
Yeah, those are all available. They're here in the club, so.
Great.
Put this for now.
What I'm gonna do is put it up on a thicker piece for you.
It's gonna go in there.
Oh, here, can we do it this way? Hang on,
Yeah, I tried and it wouldn't separate enough to slip past these.
we take this all the way out. Here,
Okay.
I got a trick. Let's do this.
She's got
There you go. Okay. Almost, here we go, it's right here. Thank you, sir, for doing that. Oh, it's actually too much, that's good. Hang on.
Yeah, I'll hold on to this side. You can use your hands to get that way.
Let's try that, and let's try that. It's in between. It's either or. Let's do one more thing. If we can't get this, then that's as good as it's gonna get.
You just need to go to another pipe feed.
It's not gonna work. Okay, let's go back to what you had.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I think it was gonna help. Be nice, but let me just see if there's another stand here.
If you got one that's not on wheels, that would probably be the best.
Yeah, I was hoping.
So you've got two different sizes here.
Yeah.
One of these other ones probably.
Yeah, but even at the fattest, it wouldn't close all the way. Which is the issue.
Yeah.
That's as good as it's gonna get.
Can you take up one more link and make it a little?
Yeah, we got two more.
Oh, here we go. He's got something way better.
Yeah, this.
Let's go with the big.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get this out of the way.
Alrighty.
Yep,
I don't know what the
I'll take care of it.
release it.
There you go. Now you're better. Now we're probably be a lot better.
Get back to my gun.
Oops, oops, oops. It's not the best, but it'll do. Once you put a sandbag on it and the light on it,
Yeah.
it'll stay.
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
A little better. All right, let's bring this down a bit.
All right.
Get this on. Yeah.
Like this, as far as goes. There you go.
All right.
Well, you got that at least hooked up.
Yeah,
A quick picture.
so much for the quick connect, huh?
Do you want me to help you?
No, I think we're okay. Let's just
Just
make
gotta
sure all
spin
these
it.
are in there, right? Four of those in there this time? Yeah. That looks good.
Is it on?
Anyway, when you clamp these in, make sure you get all four rungs in there.
There you go.
Okay,
You want to plug in some power and then I'll raise it up for you.
sure do.
There you go. Make sure you're hot. I hear it.
It's on. It's on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, how you want it?
Plenty high.
Plenty high?
We got a little guy here.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. How many of you have used studio lighting before? Okay, one person, two persons. How about you guys out there? I don't know. All right, well, we'll get through it. Not that difficult. The main thing is seeing what you're doing and going from there.
I'm gonna turn the room lights off for you.
Yeah, you know, I haven't tried that.
Yeah. Yep, yep.
Let's see if we can get the modeling light to go up any higher.
You want me to drop that down so you see it?
Yeah, let's come back down here.
There you go.
Looks like the modeling light fixed.
It's either on or off.
Yeah, it's either on or off.
Yep,
Let's see if it tracks.
there you go.
That's as big as it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Want to go back up?
yeah, that's probably right.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a bunch of different lighting techniques. This softbox I added on here is what we call a modifier. So it actually diffuses the light.
I see you from the side. Side camera.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, you can, you're fine, just talk towards the camera.
Yeah. Whereas, you know, a light like these Stella Pros, unless you put a modifier on them. Let's turn this down. You know, it's pretty raw. That's the difference between that and something soft like this. I brought a little subject along.
Here for you.
Yeah. This one doesn't talk back, so it makes it easy to work with. It's actually an antique. It was a mold for making big dolls. So it's kind of fun. Basically, the key to learning studio lighting is to watch what the light's doing. With a modeling tube, you can kind of see where the light's going, you know, moving it forward and back, so on and so forth. The other thing you can do is change the angle, change the height. And it gives you different kinds of shadows and highlights. You guys all seeing that? How about you guys at home? Are you seeing that okay? All right, good. Okay. So ideally you want to center it in your light source over there.
You still want that or?
Yeah, we'll just go with this softbox.
Yep.
For the Jeremy. Now, the other thing you have the option to do with a tabletop, or if you're shooting people, is to bounce the light around. So in this case, I'm going to use these cards. To get it really close, you can kind of see what it's doing. It's filling in the shadows here. If I put it underneath, you see how it's lighting up the face? Yeah. So with one light, you can do a lot of work by just using bounce cards and so forth. So we can do something like this. Now, the other thing that we have here at the club is like a tent, and it's right on all sides. So basically, you set the lights up in there, and it's very soft. It's like being inside this box. You know, the light comes from all sides, and you have very soft light. You don't have to worry about doing cards or shuffles.
Do we have one of those here?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
You want to stand?
I think that'll work for now. We can probably put one on the other side, just make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, that would have went somewhere because it's picked up yet. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, you can bring these in or out. There we go. I'm going to move this back just a little bit so it's more in the center. This a little bit. Yeah, maybe if we had another stand, we could get a little fill here. So you can see without this, this is getting a little dark and falling off. Just put the card in, you can see it's starting to fill those areas in. Thanks. I didn't know you were going to be my assistant today, but it's working out great. Here's a clamp. I guess we could just
Got it.
work it. And you can just yeah, put the clamp around.
Yep.
Get it all rolling.
Oh, we will.
All righty.
There we go.
That's working. Thank you, sir. Tell he's been around a set before. All right. Excellent. Now, if we want to have kind of an asymmetrical lighting, we can leave this side alone. The other thing you can do is with black cards, you can subtract light. Okay, so anything's bouncing around, we'll get rid of it. See how that gets really dark really quick? You can also take like a little card. Maybe you want to have the light coming off this big surface just in a specific area. You can add black to the card to direct your light to exactly where you want it to reflect. Okay. Now, this is probably a lot to take in at once, but as the remaining 6 weeks, I think we're going to have go by, we're going to be doing this on a regular basis. So this is more of an introductory today. We're going to be doing actual lab where you guys are doing the work going forward. So, see on this, I can start taking light away if I want, or I can add light if I want. You know, like, any questions?
Sandy, next week, should we bring our own, like 3 items for a still life, something like that?
You can bring it, yeah, I would say bring at least one, because I'm gonna try to get probably 3 to 4 setups, so you guys are probably gonna share where one person's shooting, one person's assisting, and maybe one styling, you know, it just depends on how we're gonna work it out. And then we'll get that shot down, and then we'll switch off to the next person becomes the photographer, and so on. So make sure you bring your cameras and something to shoot. So we're good. Anybody out in Zoom land have any questions? No, okay. I can see the light reflecting back from this side. I don't know how much you guys can see it over there. The closer you're moving in, the more it's gonna take, bounce back into the subject. The way it goes, the less. So we want a little asymmetrical, we'll just move it away a little bit. Okay. Just gonna grab my phone here real quick and take a photograph and see what we can do. Okay. So the other thing which I would have done first would be to put a background. So we don't have one. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, if you use your phones, you can trim this down a little bit as you go to focus. You can tap the screen. You get a box for focus. Next to it, there's like a little sunshine light icon. If you grab that and push down with your finger, you can, I don't know if you guys can see this, as you move up and down, you can change your exposure. Maybe I don't want those highlights so bright. There, that's better. Difference between that and that. And of course, in post, you can, figure out how to show whatever you want.
Sandy, if you were shooting glass, which is what I tried to do without the softbox, would the softbox have to be there to glare?
The softbox will help immensely. The other thing you can do is just get some diffusion material. So, Pat, if you're working here, so you guys can see at home, we have this roll of diffusion material. We also have one that's already stretched. So this would be great because.
So you put that in front of your light then?
Yeah, between the light and the subject. Okay. And with glass, you're going to want to work it mainly from the side of the back and make those vertical bands to do the shade. Like if you got like a wine bottle or a champagne glass, see those nice edge lighting. The edge lighting happens because the light's more on the side or behind rather than front. And that's when you really start using the black cards, because this is going to give you a lot more light than you want. So you're going to want to take two black cards and move them until that band's narrow or wide as what you need to see that edge.
Okay, what if you're not using a softbox? What if you're using ambient light?
Well, you can do the same thing with ambient light or even just a lamp at home. Just if you don't have this, use a pillowcase. And just use a couple pieces of cardboard to block it down. Whatever you got available. You gotta be with the guy,
They make it easy though, it's nice round figures, thousands.
I like to put it out with a piece of poster board and plants.
If you're afraid of spending money, this
This is the only way to do it.
It's the right place because most of this here.
Yeah, we're already down around the hole.
Okay. You guys have any questions out there? No. Okay, good. Well, I think that's.
Sandy, to shoot that, when you took your phone picture, you had on, would you do it from the side? Or
Well, today I'm just kind of demoing everything's here. If you can see your shot, I would just take the camera and figure out what you want before you even set up. Because your light is going to affect where it hits the camera based on where you set the lights. So first you get your camera locked down exactly where you want it. At least for a starting point. Change that camera position. Chances are you probably want to change your lights too. Sometimes with something like this where it's all soft there, you can do it when you get down and ask things that are very specific. whatever, high refraction index and so on and so forth. Yeah, you want to lock that camera down. So figure out where you want to first, nice little, like round, low angle, or mid angle, and then you want to correct it through the distortion, and so on and so forth. Pick the lens you want. So you're going to be going low, you're going to angle up on the longer lens, so you'll get all the distortion. Maybe, right?
Sandy, this is Maureen. Could I ask that when someone asks a question from the audience that you repeat it, because I can't hear it. And I'm also having trouble hearing you. I think you walked away from your mic or something.
Okay.
I would just stand here, Sandy. You can stand here and talk to the room, they'll hear you fine.
Okay. Let me move the mic over here. Is that better? Okay,
Should be.
good. All right. And here's the camera. All right. So the question was, I just shot this head on with my phone and they wanted to know if you could move around with your camera after you're set up. And I said, it depends on what you're shooting. If it's glass, you know, every time you move that camera, your reflections and the refractions and things that are going on and the caustics that's in the actual piece are going to change. So ideally, when you're doing it, you're concepting, you set up the object, just place it down, get your camera, move around, figure out what your point of view is going to be, what lens you're going to use, and so on and so forth. Then do your lighting and your backgrounds and everything else. Well, I would do the background and set up the set, then do your lighting. Makes it a little easier. Like now I've got cards in here. It's going to be very hard to put a sweep or something in there. Okay.
Sandy, it'd be better for us on Zoom if you faced us.
Face the camera here.
Face that camera.
There
You
you
know
go.
what? I'm going to move the camera this way because I'm looking at you guys on the screen. And the camera's over here. So is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
That's better.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question or need anything to be repeated? Okay. Are any of you that live in town coming live?
I might. I've just gotten awful lazy. Nice not to have to drive.
Home's nice and comfortable, I know.
Yes, I've got the
Yeah,
heat
I hear
on.
you. I hear you.
I do have a question. Do you prefer using the iPhone or?
No, I just
Oh.
didn't bring my gear here. I didn't even know if we were gonna have time to set up.
Okay.
Today's
Just a
kind of a initiation and a trial run, but yeah, I use my phone for a lot of things, including this, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, I just didn't feel like schlepping a camera bag today, so. Okay,
So Sandy, when do you want people to start bringing things in live to be able to photograph?
next week.
Next week?
Yeah, next week.
All right, good.
Okay, so
Thank
I guess Zoom's gonna be more of a spectator sport at that point, because we're gonna just be here working. Okay, and we'll catch up and do it again. And I think what I can try and do is have an introductory and a recap for you guys. So if you don't want to stay and watch us building and doing things, just catch the recording and you can fast forward to the end. You know,
Sure.
to get the recap. Does that work out for you?
That does. I think having the lavalier mic is going to work better for us doing these programs.
Yeah. So we do have a wireless mic, and then I can walk around and you guys will hear me the same no matter where I am. So
Well, right now it's MIA.
MIA. There you go. Okay, I'm going to turn my back on you now. So how about you? Yeah, how are you? Any questions? Yeah, we're all good. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go to do some show and tell, so we can break all this down.
Sure.
All right. Bear with us a few minutes, okay? Watch your eyes. Yeah, I didn't pop. Good.
I wrote them, lifeline still.
How was your trip?
Real good.
I'll bet. You were gone a while.
You want to break this down?
Yeah, or just flip it back up, whatever you want to do. Yeah,
I've been wanting to get.
we can do it after. We can do it after class. I just want to get the stuff out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. It was all approved.
That's even nicer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do anything.
85 days. Long time.
So did you see that?
I guess we never can get.
We, no, started San Diego with one specific decision. Round was trying to get back to Sydney. We went around New Zealand.
That's what I was gonna say.
New Zealand water.
You must have been on a cruise.
Okay.
Okay, that's the.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice, but for 85 days, we had the same room.
Right, you don't have to.
What do you want to show now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you were there just before we were.
Second, they got off
You're all good.
the.
Okay, and then you're gonna want to go to your laptop camera,
Change it and audio, right?
just like you normally would.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't email, but I put someone here.
Oh, okay.
I got off on the.
Yeah.
So you had 6 days to go down.
Oh, well, then let's, yeah, I've got
You're
it.
fine.
I've got a plug here. I wasn't sure if I had a word
Oh,
to
yeah,
patch
no
that in.
problem.
All right, so let me. I'm in FaceTime HD camera. Okay, you guys see me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Oh,
Okay.
good. I guess it's switched
Oh,
over
you're on.
automatically.
Go to your laptop.
Oh, it switched down automatically.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I guess when they got unplugged, it found what was left. Okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. And then we're going to
How was the food? Excellent.
look at what you guys sent in.
That moment, every day they cook good food. Every day, pretty good food. Now, you have one taste, you aren't as fond of it, there's another. But don't they have like sushi and then Mexican?
You guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All righty. I guess we'll just go straight from the top down.
Yeah. They have an Italian specialty restaurant. Is it buffet all the time? No.
Okay, guys, we're going to get started now.
Yeah.
All righty. So Alan, tell us about these.
Okay, so this was an attempt to do a little studio setup like you were asking. So I have this little miniature kind of light box thing that's lit by LEDs from the top. And I just put some different pieces inside it and I added a flashlight onto my camera and took a shot and I got an image and I've changed the image considerably from the original shot.
In editing software?
In editing software, yeah.
Okay.
So the top of that part to the right there, I really didn't like it. So I kind of chopped that off there just to make it a little bit pleasing, more pleasing. And then at the bottom, I've added a lot of shading and etc. But essentially, it was a completely white background, white sides, white top, and
gotcha.
This is so it's changed significantly from the original shot.
Excellent. The only thing I'd suggest is these hot spots that look a little unnatural, since you didn't have a nice diffusion on your flashlight or anything, or a bigger light source. Obviously, the smaller the light source, the smaller your reflection is going to be.
Okay.
Just clone that out.
Okay.
You see, it works here. It's real
Yeah.
nice. This little edge here. This is tasty. I like that. But this, I think, needs to go.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
Great. Let's see the next one here.
So again, it's a similar setup. And this is actually a piece of graphite. It's actually a molded graphite. So it's really a pencil. And again, I just took the same shot again with a little bit of flash and with these LED lights on. And then I added a little bit of a tint to it to color it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just for scale, how big is this in real life?
It's about maybe 5 inches long.
Oh, okay. It's not one of those little tips of a pencil that they carve, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay, okay, nice. Yeah,
just
maybe
like it's a beautiful shape. So
yeah,
it's not quite.
Yeah. yeah. I don't know if you could probably use just a tad more shadow detail here
All right.
and under here, but I think you're pretty well there. You got some nice soft lighting going on. Is that where your little
Yeah.
soft
Little,
box?
little box. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's a white tent like we talked about that we have here as well. So we kind of created one with 3 sides with the soft box and the 2 reflection cards.
So yeah, it's just a little $20 deal. Yeah.
In fact, if you guys want to play with those, they sell them pretty reasonably on Amazon. Do you remember what you paid for yours?
Just about maybe it's not even $20, I don't think. So
Really? They really come down. So yeah, that might be something to play with at home as well. And then even if you don't have a daylight or a good balanced bulb, what you can do is put a neutral card or something in there and shoot it with a light. And then when you go into one of your programs, you click on that and say, this is what white or neutral is supposed to be, and it'll correct for it. So especially in Lightroom, you can do that really easily.
You can put different backgrounds in it as well. It comes with about 4 different colors and black. So
okay, with the white the way it is, you can even backlight it right through the diffusion.
I put the top. Light comes from the top. Yeah.
Oh, so you can only do the top, yeah? Because some of them you can light the sides, the back, the bottom, yeah, whatever you
Well, I
want.
guess you could put it on the side. I guess if you.
Yeah, if they're translucent, you certainly can. So that gives you a lot of options. I know I was peeking through these before, and Don had something where he lit it from underneath. You could easily do it if the bottom is diffused.
Yeah,
that used to be fun. We used to take like a big piece of plexiglass in the studio, and we'd put lights underneath it and get some interesting effects as well. Okay, now this is just outdoors with available light.
Yeah, this is just outdoors. This is a shot from last night. We took a little trip downtown Calgary last night. They have a kind of festival on, the winter festival. And this is just some of the light from some of the other displays that they have. But this is on a sculpture, pretty famous sculpture. And I just liked the way it was all, the light was shining on it.
Yeah, it's really pretty with all these cool reflected tones here and the warm tones here.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Okay.
And again, this one, same from last night as well. So this is a puddle shot in the middle of Stephen Avenue Mall in Calgary, and it's all, well, some of it's lit up, and I really liked it, but I took it into Topaz and put this pointillism or whatever it's called effect onto it, and I like what it does to the image. The original image was really nice as well, but I like the effect from this Topaz filter.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Let me close this up. I'm going to grab your.
Oh, that was one of my first ones.
Oh, I missed that one, didn't I?
That's all right. No problem.
Yeah, well, here, while I'm setting up over here, you can talk about that one. There you go.
This is it's just a shot with a flash unit on there, and it's of a bottle top for a wine bottle kind of thing. And it was a good little test. I was just playing around, and it came out all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, a subject like this could lend itself to moving around. I don't know how big it is, but you could either rotate the subject itself, keep the camera where it is, or you can move your point of view of your camera to try different things.
Right.
And then adjust the lighting if it needs it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think your background works pretty well with it too. I kind of like the dark in the corner here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a nice bokeh going.
What f-stop did you use?
I don't know, Alan. What f-stop?
It was probably 2.8.
Okay, yeah. I say it looks pretty wide open to get those bokeh effects. There you go. Okay, let's see if I can find that here. This one here. Okay.
These were all shot with natural light.
Okay, good. See if I can get this to pop over.
With a foam core on the back.
So it's got foam core as a background. Okay. Yeah. What do you think about cropping in a little tighter?
Well, and I do crop it some, but not.
Okay.
I wondered about the front, was not in focus.
Yeah, that might be a matter of either getting a greater depth of field or using focus stacking if you need to. I don't know how big this object is, so. Well, that's a pretty good size. Yeah. And then what kind of lens?
I use my 24-70.
Whereabouts?
I was at 58.
58. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. So how did you focus? Were you doing a single shot or were you doing stacking? Okay. And you focused a third of the way in?
On this one, I think I focused on the little ribbon with the names on.
Over here? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you're starting to lose it around here. Do you ever check your back screen and zoom up to 1:1 and
I
move
was
around?
using live manually. I would zoom it in and then sort of plus it, or I don't know what you call it.
Mm-hmm. But actually, after you take the shot, it's good to check it too, and then you can zoom those up, at least on a Canon 1:1 and move around and see if everything's in focus. And if not, then adjust accordingly. And if you're using live mode on a non-mirrorless camera, then you could just manually.
And that's what I was doing.
Manually just.
I would bring it so that it was tighter. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. Oh, so you zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So you've got one or two choices here. You could bring your focus forward and see if it still carries what's behind it, i.e. the back of his head, the main guy's head.
I was at 2.8. So.
Oh, well, then you could have stopped down easily and covered it too. You could have gone to 4 or 5, 6 and easily carried it. Okay. So you're wide open, and it's not like you're trying to get bokeh or something else falling off in the background here. So in that case, you're crippling yourself by going wide open. You should at least start maybe 2 stops down from your widest aperture. I know that probably is a sweet spot of your lens, but you could check on that, and see. Okay, anybody got any questions? Okay, let's move on here.
Then I added the hanging in the background. This I didn't crop it straight out of the camera.
Sure.
I did. I changed my f-stop to 11.
Yeah, well, it's carrying it now. Definitely. Yeah.
The same manner of manually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you've accomplished it here. So you've learned since the first shot. Well, that's good. That's what we're here for.
The composition is not there though.
That can come. Yeah, learning composition and lighting is the next phase. First, you got to learn the camera, and then you got to figure out your point of view, and then you can get into your composition. And
you see any difference between the first one with the hanging in the back and this one? Because this is a.
Yeah, it looks like you rotated the stool a little bit.
F14, and the first one was F11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like you got a little softer here rather than sharper, even though you stopped down more. So maybe you focus differently.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Another key thing when you're doing tabletop, especially if your camera's on a tripod, everything's locked down, you get your focus in place. Even if you move something subtly and then just check it again, it really shouldn't change that much if you got enough depth of field. So you can take something like this little head here and turn it and still keep the focus.
My light was coming from the right through the window.
Mhm.
And when I would turn him away from the window, then.
You get the shadows and yeah. Yeah, it's because you can see quite a difference here in this face from here where he's turned away. You're getting a lot of shadow there. Okay.
This was a struggle.
Yeah, how so?
Inside, and I don't know where the glare was coming from, but we tried to cover up everything that was possible.
Mhm. Yeah, you've got something reflecting here.
So then we moved outside.
Mhm. Yeah. So again, your least favorite thing, editing, comes into play here.
Yeah.
Where you could take and clone those things out. If you can't get around things and it's physically impossible to get rid of them, then you can do it afterwards.
I don't know if it's on this one, but try to get rid of the, the glare there, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like this one's a little better than this one. Let's see the next one. Yeah, you kind of moved around a little bit. Yeah, you probably could have gotten, whoops, let me go back to this one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you probably could have cloned this little one down here and maybe softened this one up a little and just had this shape that's following the rim, the shape of the rim. Because when you have reflections that aren't going with the flow, like you have a plate that's curved like this and then the reflections this way, it's distracting. You want it to follow the lines. Actually, you want to start literally painting with your light so that it enhances the areas you want to bring up. So if you want the edge of this plate here to be a little better, you want a reflection to follow it. So it brings the eye around.
And how do you do that again?
By moving the lights.
Well.
So the light will change depending on where you put it.
Using this ambient light, like having straight light, but we were using.
Okay, so if you're just using ambient light, then you're gonna have to take the object and turn it until it gives you the best possible reflection.
We tried foam core, but that didn't.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that if I would have had a margarita in the glass, would that have gotten rid of some of that glare? Depending on how opaque and what color the margarita's kind of a greenish color, right? Yeah, it might have toned it down a little bit, or it might have made it even more bright because it's got some solid behind it instead of translucency. So you wouldn't be getting the glare from the back of the glass like you are now. You'd just be getting it from the front. But other than that, it wouldn't change much. Are you guys hearing these questions okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'd just like to ask, this solid light, this light that's on all the time, does that really replace the flashlight as a flash unit or a flash unit if you've got a solid light? Or
oh, the one I demonstrated, yeah, it has a strobe in it. I just didn't take the time to hook up the receiver and the transmitter, and I haven't tried it since pre-COVID, so I'm not sure if the batteries are any good. And we ran out of time trying to get the Zoom part working, so I didn't have a chance to test all that. But yes, Alan, it would work as a strobe, and that modeling light that I did all my shooting with is basically just for pointing the light and seeing what it does.
All right. Okay.
Sure. Good question. All right, let me. All right, I'm gonna eject that. So there you go, Pat. Thank you. Yeah, I guess. In the future, I'd rather have you guys upload these into the Dropbox link so we don't have to feed them in as we go, but today's kind of loose. as you found. Okay, I'm assuming you're untitled here. You got just these two?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this important docs is obviously not something we're gonna look at. Okay,
This is ambient light through my kitchen window. White thing behind it.
nice.
1874 and flywheel.
Wow. Now, did you do any post on this at all? With
Yeah, like
uh-huh.
Photoshop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might have just picked this up a little bit if you wanted to. Just make it a little brighter and maybe worked a little on this with clarity and maybe texture to sharpen it up just a little bit. So you don't, I mean, this is a hero here, so you don't want to compete too much, but you don't want it to kind of get lost in the box either. And then lastly, I would probably just tone this highlight down just a little bit so it's more like this. Okay. Nice shadows.
I just walked into the living room and saw that shadow on the wall.
Perfect. Stopped in your tracks and said, I gotta shoot this, right? Yeah, it's me all the time. That's great. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'd do a thing with this. Very nice. Okay, well, thanks for bringing those in. Let me check that. No, it probably won't let me eject it because I'm on that. Yeah, there it goes. All right. Let's get a window back here. So let's see. I guess Don, you're next.
This is just a lamp stand. I turned the lights off at the house and left the lamp on. And took a number of shots of that till I got about the tone I thought I wanted, the brightness, and put it in Lightroom, put it on an angle and touched it up, get the bright spots out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the angle. I like the angle a lot. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, did you try putting your highlight detail
I
down?
pulled quite a bit down. I see I could go that far yet.
Did you do everything globally or did you try
No, I
doing
went,
local?
brushed it in.
Yeah, okay.
I got more I could go.
Yeah, you have the newest Lightroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind, you know, it's got that slider at the top where you can put more in or less.
Oh, okay, I didn't think.
Yeah,
of that.
try moving that over a little bit. That might be enough to pull that. If not, just duplicate it and then just, you know,
Okay.
adjust it. It might be too much at that point, just adjust it down. But I try that little slider on
I
top
keep
first.
forgetting about that.
Yeah, me too. I know.
I get to work and I
Yeah,
forget about
I know. You got all those old habits. Yeah. It's a nice addition. Okay.
it. This was just a round table with a glass top in it. And I just had a flashlight. I stuck it in the bottom and shot it up from the bottom. No, I take it back. Didn't shoot this one up. I did shoot some from the bottom, and then I took another flashlight and shone down back further to light up the inside of the glass.
Yeah.
Picture.
Yeah, a dead giveaway, if you guys are trying to analyze how somebody lit something, is look for the highlight. You can see the highlights up here. So you know this wasn't lit from the bottom. It was lit from somewhere up in this area.
And I had some hot spots in it that I took out.
Yeah.
There's still some in there.
Yeah, I guess you could have grabbed a few of these. Yeah, this is a little more subtle. Might pull that up just a little bit, but it's kind of nice the way these come around and your eye just swings around this object. But yeah, if you want to make this more important, you could lighten it up a little bit and brighten up the mouth a little bit. That's your choice.
And this is the same setup, but just strictly at the bottom.
Mhm.
And I didn't crop the handles out of the table.
Yeah, yeah. So again, you can see that the light's coming from the bottom, beside the fact that it's brighter down there, you can see where the highlights are. Gets a little confusing because these areas curve out toward the lights. So even though it's giving a highlight up here, the light's not coming from up there, it's coming from underneath and catching it under the bottom side of it. So that takes a little more, looking around. This is the giveaway that it was lit from underneath. Okay, thank you. All right, let's go to Jim Murphy. I'm not seeing any of you guys, so I assume you're all there.
Well, this is a 180-degree drone shot of the top of the mine.
Well, it certainly wraps around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which mine is this one? Is this the one that's
This is Duval
house?
Mine, I guess it's called. Yeah, it's off Duval Mine Road, so I guess it's
Oh,
Duval Mine. I
the
suppose.
one north of here, yeah. Yeah, because we have one we can see straight up
Yes.
Arkansas Road, but that one's quite a bit south. Interesting. Well, I really like the way the lines recede.
Yeah, I wished I had tilted the camera down a little bit more, but oh well.
Yep. Well, it's not going anywhere if you want to reshoot it.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotta wait for the clouds to cooperate, which we don't get all that on anymore around here, but all right.
And this is another shot of the same thing, only it's just a single frame rather than and so it's I think it went 2x on this one or something like that. So that's the water on top that evaporates from the slurry they put up there.
Mm-hmm.
Got kind of a weird effect on the clouds there, kind of streaking. And then I did something to it. I don't remember right now. I think it was probably a topaz or maybe Neo. I don't remember, but kind of enhanced that streakiness a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this looks like sun rays. Yeah, I like them. You never know this is the top of a disgusting copper mine in Green Valley. Looks like it could be up near Glacier or somewhere, That's nice. I like that.
I think there's some boats out there as well, too.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think those are boats, those little specks you see.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't know if they use those for sampling to see how toxic things are or what happens.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's your still life.
Yeah.
Or should I say still not alive?
Yeah. That ended up being ISO 12,800. It was in the shade. And so I was sort of conflicted about shutter speed. I shot 13200s to try and stop the action, but then of course it drove the ISO way up. So
yeah,
taking a little bath there.
Oh, okay. So he is alive. Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent shot. Some of the things we're going to play with these new lights is trying to freeze action like this with the high-speed strobe and electronic shutter sync. So I think that's a nice start. Yeah, I don't think you have that much issue with your grain. Did you use something to knock it down?
A couple of things. I did denoise and I think I also, I don't remember, but I worked on it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Looks great.
This was my tabletop thing for this week. It's a piece of Irish Waterford crystal. And then I just had a little beam of sunlight passing through it, and it created this image on the tabletop. So that's what it is. And I shot it with the iPhone too. So I just shot this with the iPhone and then put a topaz, a little bit of topaz effect on it, maybe a 10% of an effect.
Oh, nice. It almost looks like a
And I
little
tweaked
tuna
it.
dough.
I went a little bit with yellows and blues to added those in a little bit. So
Yeah, looks nice.
Sandy,
Yes, sir.
close in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Close at 3.
You close at 3, not 4? Okay. That was 4 o'clock.
Just switched at the 1st of February.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess this one looks familiar.
yeah. And that's a single frame. Yeah, just kind of a sunset shot, pretty dark, but so, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I just got to where we're closing in 10 minutes here, so I'm going to move along real quick here. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I thought we closed at 4, but evidently it's been moved to 3. Okay. David. All right. Still live shot.
Well, when I got your email, I didn't think I had enough time or energy to make a home setup.
Mhm.
So I went down to Canoa Ranch.
Ah,
and
okay.
looked around, and most of their artifacts are put away for refurbishing.
Oh, really?
It's such interesting place to visit.
Oh, yeah.
So I was looking on some of their shelves, and these are 2 baseballs, a hard ball and a softball, and I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, that works
So
nicely.
I shot that.
Yeah. I would probably crop into the edge of this just to let people think it continues or I suppose, yeah.
All of these are straight out of the camera. I don't have Photoshop or anything like that.
Okay, so you're not doing any
I'm
editing.
really working on trying to get everything right out of the
Right out of the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
This
then.
is a milk jug. Me and my wife brought a flashlight
Mhm.
so you can see how much more lit
Yeah.
the jug is.
Yeah.
She shined a light. And by the way, she is Mavis Flame.
Yeah.
I use her.
Yeah, you sent me
so
the, yeah, you
that's
sent
her
me.
name on every
Yeah,
photo.
I caught that email. Yeah. She gets the credit. There you go.
And she gets the credit for holding the flashlight and
Yeah.
all the computer work.
All right. Your responsibility is to look in the camera and see if that light works. And in this case, I probably would have raised the light up a little bit so the shadow's not parallel. Just personal opinion.
Raise the light.
Rather than just going this way. Okay.
This I just happened to see, and I thought it was a bit of a reminder, kind of a retro reminder of all of us in masks.
Yeah, I like the color palette.
And my camera has a feature where it shoots 5 shots and keeps changing. None of this is Photoshop. It's right in the camera.
Sure, that's fine.
Tick, 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 and it changes all the colors. And
Mhm.
it shows the orange one. It had a glow, little scary. So that's all right out of the camera, no Photoshop.
Oh, perfect. And you did the same with this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's nice. So is
I
that,
took that setup maybe 3 different times to keep moving the shadows around and the angles.
Mhm.
I'm pretty happy with it. And the
Yeah.
camera did all the color.
yeah,
It's a Nikon.
and you did just fine. You didn't really need to have any kind of special setup. And if you didn't have something at home, you went the extra distance and went and found it. So
Yeah,
it's,
and another
that's great.
thing is they have plexiglass or glass.
Mhm.
And I rested my camera on the plexiglass and use it as a tripod. Otherwise, I'd be shaking like crazy.
Oh, sure.
This is my favorite one. It kind of has a mood.
Yeah, I like it
I
too.
chose the sepia option,
Mhm.
and I was working on the rule of thirds. You can see
Yeah.
diagonals.
Yep, it works.
And this is straight out of the camera. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have a comment, but that's my favorite one.
No, I like that a lot. I wonder if you did crop out the bottom, just to the bottom edge of the,
Bring it down a little.
yeah, just for grins. Let's see what happens if you just did something like this. You know, that might work too. Yeah, kind of brings that linear quality to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know if the little
rectangle on the box.
Yeah, I would probably get rid of that.
On the box, there's a, probably a brass thing there that says something on it.
Yeah. Well, if you had editing software, you can knock that out. But yeah, I'm also noticing this as well. I would probably just knock that down too. Yeah, that's probably for their cataloging. Okay, let's see. We're gonna run out of time here. Paula, looks like you've got one. Oh, that's cute.
I was basically just playing with this. I put the aluminum foil on the bottom to make it add a little stuff to it, and hopefully it's lit from the top down. So trying to get a little bit of the light back up. Mm-hmm. And just played with it a little bit. I got too much highlights in a couple of spots, but
okay.
I was just playing.
Okay. Well, it looks like we're getting shown the door here pretty quick. So let's see what we got left here. I like to herald the fact that you guys are getting creative and using whatever you got at hand. That aluminum foil is a nice trick. I like that. I like that. Susan, I'm going to run through your stuff real quick. And then we're going to get out of here. Sorry about that, but we're just running a little behind here. Okay. So you're doing selective focus, I think, on these. From what I don't know how Photoshop decided to open up. Oh.
There were two others too.
Were there? Okay. How'd that end up? Oh, I see. Those are the PSD ones. Okay. That's why Photoshop opened up.